Hong Kong braces for another storm as Typhoon Matmo approaches the city. Security chief vows to deter storm chasers using existing laws, but rules out rescue fines. And Japan is poised for its first female prime minister after Sanae Takaichi elected leader of ruling party LDP. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Quentin Yang. Hong Kong readies for another storm as Typhoon Matmo moves closer to the city. Cheryl Yun reports.
Bracing for another storm, the city saw the weather turn unstable this afternoon, with visibility significantly reduced across Victoria Harbour. Those hoping to enjoy their weekend outdoors had to grab their umbrellas to shield against the rain, but the brollies may not be enough to withstand the strong winds. The observatory said Sunday's weather will remain unstable with strong easterly winds, occasionally gale force offshore and on high ground.
Locally, there will be occasional squally showers and thunderstorms tonight and at first tomorrow. Seas will be rough as well. Members of the public are advised to stay away from the shoreline and not to engage in water sports.
The observatory forecasts improved weather for the Mid-Autumn Festival, with partly cloudy skies in the morning and at night. But there should still be chances to see the moonlight through the clouds for those enjoying the festival's moon-gazing tradition. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Security Chief Chris Tan said Hong Kong will seek to curb storm chasers using existing laws before exploring new legislation. He also ruled out imposing fines for thrill seekers who require rescue services during dangerous weather conditions. Jimmy Liu reports.
Speaking to iCable News, Tang said existing laws are being used to deter storm chasing, such as child neglect, beach and country park regulations, and obstructing police. The authorities will monitor the results and consider whether new laws are needed. However, he pointed out it is not that simple, giving the example of designating specific areas as high-risk zones during typhoons. The security chief explained that every typhoon poses different dangers, sometimes near the sea, sometimes involving fallen trees. And working out how to alert the public and enforce the rules will require a lot of careful thought, he added. He also dismissed the idea of fining those who need rescuing, warning it could discourage people from seeking help and potentially lead to fatalities. Meanwhile, the security secretary addressed another area of enforcement: illegal labor. In the first 8 months of this year, authorities launched 12,000 operations, arresting over 800 suspected illegal workers and more than 400 employers. Tang said a cross-departmental task force will focus enforcement on sectors such as catering, renovation, cleaning, and ride-hailing. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
Police have launched a manhunt for a knife-wielding assailant who attacked 2 men in HOYIBC Park in To Kwa Wan around noon today. The 2 victims were taken to Queen Elizabeth Hospital. One suffered a stab wound to the neck and lost consciousness, while the other was assaulted on his back. Police first received reports around 12:30 p.m. that 2 men were attacked and wounded at HOYIBC Park, where they were chatting in a gazebo. The suspect reportedly rushed at them with a knife and carried out the assault before fleeing the scene. Police later cordoned off parts of the park and deployed the counter-terrorism response unit to assist in the manhunt. The case has been classified as a wounding incident. Hong Kong saw a surge in inbound tourists during the first 3 days of the Golden Week holiday, with mainland visitor arrivals up 6.3% compared with last year, Tourism Chief Rosanna Law said. She also expressed confidence that the annual visitor numbers will reach the initial projection of 49 million visitors and may even surpass it. Evelyn Bai reports.
Taking to the airwaves, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Rosanna Law revealed that mainland visitor arrivals hit 676,000 during the first 3 days of the holiday, up 6.3% year-on-year.
同埋問翻啲酒店咧，其實嗰個入住率咧，亦都係好嘅。
In addition to increased footfall and many tourist hotspots like theme parks, Law said hotel occupancy rates are performing well, with luxury ones nearly fully booked. When asked about past hotel price gouging during holidays, Law said the industry has pledged to stop the practice, adding that some high room rates stem from bookings made through third-party platforms. 9 months have passed in 2025, and visitors' numbers have reached 36.5 million. Looking ahead, Law said, as the second half of the year is traditionally a peak tourism season, the city is optimistic about meeting or exceeding the 49 million annual tourist target, bolstered by upcoming events like the Wine and Dine Festival, the 15th National Games, and holidays such as Halloween and Christmas. In response to the 3.8% year-on-year growth in retail sales in August, Law noted that this increase was nearly twice market expectations, despite some weekends being affected by typhoons. Separately, she pledged strict oversight as the government explores plans to allow commercial and private use of certain leisure and cultural services department venues. Evan Bai, Cable News.
Environmental Chief Tse Ching-wan defended spending $90 million on promotions for the now-suspended waste charging scheme, arguing that no public money had been squandered.
Tse described shelving the initiative as repositioning it as a backup tool for waste reduction, and said he remains confident in achieving the goal of zero landfill by 2035. He said the government may relaunch the scheme if other measures fall short, depending on the economic climate and public sentiment. Asked about an update on the second phase of the city's single-use plastic ban, Tse said the government has yet to decide on a timetable. He reiterated that, unless a mature and suitable alternative is in place, moving ahead with banning more types of single-use plastic would only create trouble.
Sanae Takaichi has been elected leader of Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party, paving the way for her to become the nation's first female prime minister in decades.
The 64-year-old conservative veteran, in her third bid for the leadership, secured victory in a runoff against former Agriculture Minister Shinjiro Koizumi, winning 185 votes to 156. This followed the first round of voting where none of the 5 candidates secured a majority. Upon her victory, Takaichi pledged to usher in a new era for the LDP and vowed to work tirelessly to turn public anxiety into hope. Her ascent almost guarantees she will become prime minister when the parliament holds its expected confirmation vote on October 15th, as the opposition parties have failed to unite behind a single contender. She will face the immediate challenge of governing with a double minority in both houses of parliament, a situation that makes passing legislation and budgets difficult. The former economic security minister has been advocating a hardline stance towards China, though she recently pledged to maintain friendly relations. When asked about she will maintain her regular visit to the controversial Yasukuni Shrine, a site viewed by neighboring countries as a symbol of Japan's past militarism, she said she would act accordingly. In terms of the Japan-US alliance, she remains committed, but has signaled a potential renegotiation of recent tariff agreements, a topic that may arise during a potential visit from US President Donald Trump later this month. The current leadership vacancy was created after former Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba resigned, following the ruling coalition's loss of its parliamentary majority, as well as the party's political donations scandal.
In a major development in nearly 2 years of conflict in Gaza, Hamas has agreed to release all Israeli hostages as part of a partial acceptance of an ultimatum issued by U.S. President Donald Trump. Israel announced it will immediately implement the first phase of the proposed plan. Cheryl Yun reports.
In a statement, Hamas agreed to key elements of a 20-point peace plan outlined by Trump, including the release of all Israeli hostages, dead or alive. The group also committed to surrendering governing authority in the Gaza Strip to an independent Palestinian body, formed through Palestinian national consensus and supported by Arab and Islamic nations. However, Hamas called for further negotiations on other aspects of the plan and did not address whether it would lay down its arms. Trump hailed the statement as a signal that Hamas is ready for lasting peace.
This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down and concrete. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East. And we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
Trump also demanded that Israel immediately halt its bombing of Gaza following Hamas's partial acceptance of the plan. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed that Israel is prepared to implement the first phase of the ceasefire plan immediately. While the latest efforts have been welcomed internationally, significant gaps remain between the two parties. Multiple explosions were reported over the Gaza skyline after Trump's call for Israel to cease its attacks. The war, launched by Israel in response to a Hamas-led attack on October 7, 2023, has resulted in 66,000 deaths, according to Gaza's health ministry. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
UK police have arrested at least 6 people in connection with a terror attack on a Jewish synagogue in Manchester, which killed 2 Jewish people, one of whom is believed to have been accidentally shot by police. Authorities said the 35-year-old suspect may have been motivated by extreme Islamist ideology. Evelyn Bai reports.
Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue in North Manchester remained cordoned off, with flowers laid in tribute to the victims.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
At a vigil, UK Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy was heckled during his speech by attendees who blame him for a rise in anti-Semitism. In face of scoffs and laughter, Lammy told the crowd, "We stand in solidarity with Jewish people, because an attack like this is never felt alone." Daniel Walker, the synagogue's rabbi, recalled the attack, saying the pain is very raw.
So one of the men was murdered entering into the synagogue from the outside on his way to pray. He was coming to morning services on Yom Kippur, and his life was taken from him. The other man was inside the foyer, helping hold the doors, stop the terrorists from coming in. And when shots were fired, he was fatally wounded.
Manchester police said one victim suffered a gunshot wound that may have been consequence of the urgently required action taken by officers at the scene. UK police watchdog has launched an investigation into the shooting. During Thursday's attack, the assailant rammed a car into people at the synagogue and then went on a stabbing spree. The 35-year-old suspect, Jihad El-Shami, was shot dead by police at the scene. He had previously been arrested on charges of rape but was released on bail. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Kicks and Greens stole the show as the SAR government football team battled their Legislative Council counterparts in a friendly match at Kai Tak Sports Park. Cheryl Yun wraps up the action.
The government team in red clashed with lawmakers in blue. The SAR government struck first, netting a penalty kick to lead 1-0 at halftime. Heavyweight spectators, including Chief Executive John Lee, Legislative Council President Andrew Leung, and Sports Minister Rosanna Law, cheered from the stands. Team Lechko fought back in the second half, capitalizing on a well-placed shot to level the score at 1-1. However, the SAR government proved stronger, scoring the decisive goal for a 2-1 victory. Leung compared a strong football game to effective governance, while Lee noted the match showcased how the city's executive and legislative branches collaborate for success. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Tomorrow's temperatures are forecast to peak at 31 degrees, with a low of 27 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Quentin Yang. Thank you for watching. Good night.